What's up guys, there is a news post here about October's game jam that I wanted to talk about because there's some pretty big stuff in here, at least in my opinion. I missed this post, it was from the 4th of November, so 3 days ago now, but I don't think anyone else has covered it just yet. It may have been put on Reddit and all that sort of stuff, but we're going to take a look through it because there's a lot of interesting things in here. Now, basically, they have the game jam. I think they're going to actually tell us here what it is, so maybe we'll just go through this and talk about it, but yeah, let's just take a look. If you found this interesting, then do leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's take a look. It's game jam time again, and we're ready to reveal the latest ideas from the J-Mods. Read on for all the cool new concepts that came out of October's jam, from new board game locations to Damon Heme archaeology and beyond. One day I'll be able to pronounce that properly. All about game jam. Okay, so this is going to talk us through about what it is, and for those of you that don't actually know. Game jams are a chance for developers to form small teams and conceptualize, I don't know what the hell, design and build a functioning version of one or more game projects. To allow for total focus, this activity takes place over a restricted period, anything from a few hours to a number of days. At Jagex, we run a week-long game jam every few months. So basically, the way this works is that J-Mods get a full week to work on whatever projects they want to work on. So they don't get told what to do, they get to work on whatever they want to work on that they think is going to be good for the game. It doesn't always get added in, but a lot of the time it does, and a lot of the time it is freaking badass. So here, let's say, why we jam. Game jam sessions are an important part of the creative process. They give us time and space to think outside the umbral chest, to be proactive, not just reactive. We can experiment and come up with new ideas that wouldn't have occurred to us in normal dev time. We can also focus on projects we're passionate about that don't make the priority list or keep getting pushed back. We run game jams regularly because they give us inspiration, help us improve the game, and allow us to experiment with new working practices we've not tried yet. How does it work? Everyone at Jagex can join the jam, including non-developers. We've often seen people in other departments joining in the fun because of course they love the game too. Participants organize themselves into small groups, then spend a few days brainstorming, discussing, and building. On the final day, all the teams present their prototypes and everyone joins in to feedback. The best ideas might lead to direct improvements, for example, Mod Black Witch and Mod Alex's graphical update for a large part of the free-to-play area, or they might be considered for future content drops. Game jams can even lead to something major like a new skill. Now, let's see what our mods are working on during October Game Jam. I wonder if the new skill was done through Game Jam then. I wonder if that's what they're hinting at there. Did they already confirm that or not? But I know for a fact that Solak was done through Game Jam. So, I mean, big things do come from it. So, there you go. For all those that you didn't know what it was, now you do. October Game Jam, the idea is so basically, we're going to be able to pause auras, hopefully, in one point. I don't see why they would announce this if this isn't going into the game. So, hey, let's have a look. So, aura pausing, concept, auras, except Greenfinger's aura, are now paused while you are logged out. Mod Frosh. I know that players have been asking for this feature for years. A lot of you aren't able to take full advantage of your auras at the moment, due to real-life responsibilities that get in the way of long, uninterrupted play sessions. This change would motivate players to make more use of their auras, even if they don't have a lot of time to play in one sitting. So a lot of people don't really use auras at all. Like they'll just be like, oh well, I'm only on for 20 minutes, so what's the point in using an aura? It's going to run out. I'll save it just in case I get an hour later. And it's kind of meh. Whereas if you want to extend an aura for an hour, like a DPS aura for example, you could log in, you could kill the boss for 20 minutes. If you have to log off, then happy days. You log off and it's paused. Now, this is kind of awesome. It's really good, but also kind of only if the aura is going to still cool down while you've got it active. So when you activate an aura now, the cooldown starts straight away, right? I believe, or does it start as soon as it ends? Either way, if it's paused, if you log out with 3 minutes left, do you have to log back in later and use those 3 minutes for the cooldown to start working, or is it once you activate it, it's 4 hours when you activate it, or 5 hours when you activate it, and then it's going to be completely reset again? So this is something that I would be curious about if they do this. I don't know if this stuff is confirmed for sure. It might not even get in the game. I don't know for sure. But announcing it, I feel like it would probably be added to the game. That being said, though, this is really cool. I like this. This is a really good change, and it actually gives a lot of time for people, like I say, for people who have real life responsibilities and stuff. It kind of takes away the stress of, can I play RuneScape? I need a full hour. Like, you play RuneScape in chunks of an hour. You go do bossing, you do an hour. You do skilling, you use an hour for an aura. Everything's like in chunks of hours around auras. But if you can log out and do other things, then this is great. But hopefully the cooldown thing still works, because if you do have to log out, say like someone is like that and they have other responsibilities and they have to log out with 3 minutes left and then they come back and it's like, your aura's just expired, there is now a 4-hour cooldown. That would suck. That would suck big time. So hopefully they've thought of that. I'm sure they would have done. But anyway, Ixalin's little helper quest improvements. I'm not going to cover this one too much, but basically smooth some of this intermediate quest rougher gameplay edges, considering features that have been since added, since been added, as well as our contemporary quest design guidelines. So you no need to just apply the quest here for a tinderbox, because you have it on your tool belt. You see the edges of the trapdoors. You can actually see. You can see where not to stand. That's cool. That's really cool. And if you fall and try to remain open for a couple of minutes, that's so much better for people who want to do that. But yeah, so they've done some quality of life stuff with that quest. That quest was effort, man. So that is definitely good. This is the dev comment, by the way. I picked Ixalin's little helper because it has some appealing rewards. The soften Slayer dungeon, double Slayer points via smoking kills, but also mechanics that are likely to frustrate non-questers or encourage the habit of following a quest guide. The whole experience could be significantly improved with a few quick content fixes rather than requiring a full rework. So this is good. No, I completely agree. There was a few things in there that were frustrating. I hated doing this on my alt account, so getting that sort of touched up is definitely a good thing. That being said, they kind of hint here that they don't want people to use quest guides, but RuneScape questing is so freaking tedious sometimes, and I don't know. Like I enjoyed doing the newer quest. Was it Extinction? I think it might have been Extinction. Maybe not. The one after Extinction. I don't know. Doing that without a quest guide was pretty fun because I did it before there was one available, to be fair. But that quest was kind of straightforward a little bit, and everyone was doing it at the same time, so you can ask people how to do it, right? When there's nobody else doing it, it's a little bit different. But anyway, bonus game jam stuff. Released in October 24th updates, the patch notes removed the more egregious requirements from the Wandering Gar mini quest. Okay, so that was done. They've already added all this stuff to the game. We need to cover that. Daemonheim Archaeology. A new Damon Helm, whatever the frick, Dungeoneering Archaeology mini-site and narrative. While working on potential Dungeoneering ninja fixtures, I was reminding you of how many mysteries and narrative plot threads were left unanswered by the shift in development for the skill. Given the success of Archaeology at the Zen-Distant mini-site, plus the fact that the skill has lots of frustrating level gaps, especially around the 70s and 80s, I thought there was a way we could solve this problem using Daemonheim. Daemonheim, maybe? I don't know. For God's sake. My goal over the course of this week was to create a full design for a mini site, decide what questions I want to pose and answer, and provide some tension at the end. The obvious plot points were: why the heck is there a Dragonkin settlement here? And what exactly was Bill Ratch trying to achieve down in the depths? There are some other plots woven into the design, and I found an opportunity to possibly tease some future content as well. While the project hasn't had official sign-off yet, it was a good opportunity to flex some design muscles. As it stands, the design is almost complete, but I still need to do a bulk of the writing and the actual development. So this is something that will probably come in the future, seeing as he's still got quite a lot of stuff to do. But hey, I think this is mostly lore stuff and finishing off like what is what and why and stuff like that. So for you guys that are into all the lore, probably going to be happy with this, and I assume it will come eventually. But yeah. Okay, so this is one that I found really interesting when I had to skim through this. Cross-world presence. I think this is badass, and I hope this gets added. I really, really do. I think this is really cool. So basically, here it says, concept: player avatars are beamed across the abyss and replicated on separate worlds. What you do on one world can be seen on another. So some locations in RuneScape can get lonely, especially when you play on quiet worlds. Cross-world presence help to address this by connecting a number of worlds together, allowing player avatars to be shared across them in appropriate locations, such as the Grand Exchange or the Walls Retreat. If World 101 and World 13 were connected, for example, that would mean when I play on World 101, I could see players from World 13, and they could see me too, and they can talk to each other as well. this is freaking awesome. This is really cool because this kind of solves a little bit of the problem with the server issues that we have. So the servers really struggle when you get like 300 people. As soon as you hit anywhere near 300 people or more than 300 people, the server's delay is insanely bad. It is just not good. You can't PVM on it. You can't do a lot of things. You can still skill and stuff, but you can feel the clunkiness and it doesn't feel good, especially for new players who aren't used to it. It feels bad, man. But if you can have more people on not have more people on each world, but have less people on each world, but still have like a busy world, that would be really freaking good. Obviously, you can't trade and stuff. It says, because we're not on the same world interactions such as trade, dueling, and request assistance doesn't work. If players want to do these things together, they'd need to hop to the same world. Ideally, we'd remove these interactions and perhaps add a new join world right-click option, but we ran out of time. So that's really cool. But I think this is a great idea. I don't know if it could end up with some sort of luring thing. I don't think it could because you can't trade or anything. But overall, there is definitely some places this could be useful. Like any sort of skilling area, in all honesty, that feels a bit empty. You could do that to add that in. People can have conversation while they're skilling. Grand Exchange does feel a little bit dead sometimes. Like if you could have the Grand Exchange basically have most worlds mixed into one, maybe leave the trade world to itself and then put the rest of them together. That would make the Grand Exchange feel really busy and it'd feel good. Like it'd feel like an actual marketplace again, except everyone's on different worlds and the world shouldn't lag. I assume this is why they're doing it. But that would be insanely good. I'd love that. If Max Guild was like absolutely rammed crap full with loads of different players, make the game feel like an MMO again with loads of different players on it, but don't lag the crap out of the servers. I don't know. Personally, I think this is really cool and I hope this does get done. I hope this was thingy, but yeah. So it says, when you leave the bounds of the area, your avatar is no longer shared across the world and remote players will no longer be able to see you in their world. However, you will still disappear into the shared areas and see. So if you're on the outside, you can see in and see the person. But if you're on the inside, you can't see the person who's left. So that's cool. I like this. I think this is a really, really cool idea. And I would love to see this added to the game. I really, really would. I think this would make the game feel so much more like an MMO. It would be so much more appealing for newer players to stick around too. There's nothing worse than joining a world, running to the Grand Exchange as a new player, or when you make a new account, running to the Grand Exchange and just realizing it is dead and it's empty and it's just, is this an MMO? Is this game dead? It's not dead, but everyone's just not there. So if you just add more, like if you add it's just good. It's just good. Anyway, let's move to the next one. Crows' quality of life improvements. Basically, they're going to be doing things like preventing auto-collect running under most circumstances, scavenging legendary pets, no longer try or succeed at taking the boss loot to your backpack. Okay, so then you guys can just pause this if you want to read this. I don't really know much about Croesus, so I don't know if this is going to be good or bad, so I'll let you do that. Board games around Gillinor. This is freaking badass, if I'm honest. So putting board games around the world in multiple locations. So you could play like, is it Connect 4? I think this is Connect 4. You can play the Grand Exchange on these tables here. I mean, this is just cool. This makes it feel, again, like an MMO. But you need to be careful because this could be used for gambling. Now, obviously, there's nothing attached here. But do you remember flowers and dice? If you beat me in Connect 4, you can have this much money. I guess it's not gambling, it's skill, is it? I don't know. It depends. As long as it's not games of chance, then I guess it's okay. It's skill, right? And I guess if people want to bet that much money and trust each other on it, then, I mean, it's a skill game. Like, if it's chess or something like that, then I think that's pretty cool. Combat consistency. Removing some of the inconsistencies from combat. Hit chance buffs can be very hard to truly understand. Rewrote buffs so they can apply in consistent order. Made it so buffs are totaled and then total is applied once. Okay, so this is just some more combat stuff for people. It's a bit confusing. But again, if you want to read through that one, I'll pause it. Or I'll link this whole post in the description. But I thought I'd go through this because there's some interesting stuff. I really like the idea of the board games. I think this is badass. I think it's really cool. I absolutely love the idea of the cross-world thing. I think this would be so good for the game overall. I think that this one, they need to add this. This is just too good not to add. And I hope it does come. I really, really do. Like, this is insanely good. So just please. And then the last one that was like huge to me is also the quest rework is good. It's good to see it's fixed and stuff. Like they said, it's frustrating for newer players and whatnot, and people who don't like doing quests. But the aura pausing one as well, just chucked up here for not much extra stuff. This would be really cool, and I hope that they're taking the cooldown into consideration. But this would change a lot of stuff, and it would open up, like if you need to take a break, take a break. Just sit down and do a full hour, the commitment of doing a full hour. A lot of people just don't use auras because they're like, well, I might have had to go. I don't want to waste my aura. Well, you might as well use it anyway, but because you might not be coming back, but you never know. So yeah. But other than that, guys, let me know what you think about these game jam things in the comments down below. I would love to see all of these added to the game. I think the JMods do an incredible job when they do game jam. Like, I think some of the better updates come from this. I really do. So, I mean, I'd do a stream where we're playing freaking Connect 4 with viewers. That'd be badass. How cool would that be? But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. I don't know if I'm posting this or not, but if you see it, then I guess I did. Other than that, catch you later, guys. Bye.